Good start. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So page 1 in the prayer book. One time English, one time Tibet. All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and all-knowingness, may they experience happiness and be separated from suffering. I will quickly establish them in the state of the most perfect and precious Buddhahood.
Simchen damje dewa dan den donga dan cha nyozo lana me yon takbara zobe janjo rinpo je to baraja.
Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until death, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind.
Ti je do sam ma je je pa do lunga izong ge wa la go ma je
bardu
lunga izong ge wa la go du teren de son de nyama san ta sang je bardu lunga izong ge wa la go.
All sentient beings, limitless as the sky, take refuge in the glorious kind Lama Vajradhara, the embodiment of the body, speech, mind, qualities, and activities of the Buddhas of the 10 directions and the 3 times, source of the 84,000 categories of the teachings and Lord of the Sanghas. We take refuge in the kind root Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the Yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakinis, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom.
Namge Tadang Nyambe Semjen Tamje Choju Tu Song Tiji Jeba Tam Jeje Ko Zon To Yoden Tele Tam Jeje Ngora Jur Kyuje Pumbo Tondra Jeje Zayin June Parbe Gende Tam Jeje Ngada Chenjen Zawa Dan Juba Jebe Parden Lama Tamba Namla Jabza Jewo Yedan Kinkora Jia Lazo Namla Jabza Jewo Sanje Jumden De Namla Jabza Jewo Tambe Chu Namla Jabza Jewo Pabe Gendu Namla Jabza Jewo Pawon Kandro Chukyon Sume So Yeshi Je Jandan Denpa Namla Jabza Jewo.
Until I attain the heart of enlightenment, I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the previous Buddhas embraced the enlightened mind and progressed on the Bodhisattva's path, I too give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path.
Changche Nyingpo Chi Pa Sanje Namla Jasa Chi Chudan Shangcho Senpa Ye Solan Tenshin Jasa Chi 시당 문제 대세기 상주 토nen지 바당 상주 선배라발라 대다른지네 바다 대신돌라 펜던도 장주 선내기진
Together in sync, in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, most excellent, I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings.
Sangye Chudan Soje Chonan Lai Jancho Bardo Tanen Jasunji Tage Jesoy Jibe Sunanje Drola Penche Sanje Droba Sho.
May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness which is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Refuge of all sentient beings without exception, divine subjugator of terrifying Maras together with their hosts of demons, the one who understands all realities without exception exactly as they are, transcendent conqueror together with your disciples, please come here to this place.
Banzara Samanzam, Banzara Samanzam, Banzara Samanzam, Malu Sanjan Kungi Gongurchin, Dude Ponje Mize Jumze Lai, Mana Malu Jishin Chenjurebe, Jumden Gorje Nende Yesu. Dube alogengende nerde shabda barditrazo.
The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the supreme mountain, the 4 continents, and the sun and moon. As a Buddha field I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fields. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostrations, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying, for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all this I dedicate. Sashi Puju Jojin Meito Tran Riran Benjin Yende Yambadi Sanje Shenla Mede Purwayi Drogun Namda Jingdu Jewa Jo Chanzar Wadan Jujin Xiaobadan Jise Yerang Gorshin Zowayi Gewa Junze Dagi Jizava
탐제 조배 장조 쟁모.
Page 11. Namo. To the Lama of utterly pure appearance and existence, I offer the fundamental ground of appearance and existence. I supplicate you to thoroughly liberate the three realms. Please grant your blessings and overturn the depths of samsara. Sublime Master, wish-fulfilling jewel, crown ornament, the inconceivable, inexpressible mind of the victorious ones, the one endowed with the five wisdoms of omniscience, gracious one, the embodiment of love, precious protector of beings, I supplicate you from within the essence of mind. Please grant your blessings from within the innate nature. Please bless me that I may realize the Dharmakaya that is beyond intellect, this primordially unborn, completely pure mind, transcendent conqueror, the one thus gone, foe destroyer of afflictive emotions, completely perfected Buddha, endowed with logic and virtue, the one gone to bliss, knower of the world, captain, tamer of beings, the unexcelled teacher of gods and men. I respectfully prostrate, completely touching my head to the stainless feet of the unequaled Shakya king. At the time of your birth, leader of two-legged beings, taking 7 steps on this great earth you proclaimed, I am supreme in this world. To you who are wise even then, I prostrate. Possessing a body of complete purity, your sublime form is excellent. An ocean of primordial wisdom, you are like a golden mountain. The one whose renown is evident throughout the 3 worlds, protector of supreme attainment, to you I prostrate. To you who are endowed with the supreme marks, whose face is like an immaculate moon, to you, the one with a complexion like gold, I prostrate. A flawless one such as you among the 3 levels of existence is most exquisite. Unparalleled omniscient one, to you I prostrate. Supreme among humans, captain of those to be tamed, the one thus gone who severs the all-binding fetters, who with senses pacified is utterly pacified and skilled in peace. To that one, the one who dwelled at Shravasti, I prostrate. Refuge endowed with great compassion, totally omniscient one who indicates the way, ground basis for oceans of merit and qualities, I prostrate to the one thus gone. The pure cause free from attachments, the virtue that liberates from the lower realms, the altogether supreme ultimate truth, to the pacifying Dharma I prostrate. Having been liberated, they also reveal the path to liberation, thoroughly respectful of the 3 higher trainings. They are a field of sublime qualities. To the Sangha, I also prostrate. And then back to page 9.
Namo Nansi Nanda Ge Lama La Nansi Shechen Se Chubanbu Kamsan Yondro Se Wande Korwa Tongro Se Shinji Ala Ye Ye Je Norbo Tsoge Kya Masan Jume Jare To Chimbe Yishe Nadan Den Ze Danyi Gari Jen Drowa Kimze Rimbo Je Dasani Jingame Zoande Chuni Jingande Shinje Lo Zemdone Jime Nandande Lunde Chuko Dobare Shinji Lo Jon Dende Tishin Shekpa Chumba Yantapa Zobe Sanje Rikpa Dan Shabzo Tenpa Deore Shikpa Jiten Chenpa Jivundurwa Kalo Jurwa Alana Meba Latang Me Namje Tom ba nyame sha ji jar boi shab ji dor chma me ba la go ra de de gube jan za lo kanze gani zo boi kyu tam se sa chen de la kumba du vorone ngane ji den da na jo jesu and the zenge ba julai chansalo nanda gungan jodo so song wa ye jam so zerje lumbonra Travan jiten sona lame wa gombo joni julai chansalo Senjon den bai chimin da we shara sendon da wai chulai chansalo the drai chunda ziba sonan ze nyame chen chulai chansalo menjon dorwa kalo jun ze jen kunjor chingwa jun ze te shin she Omboy jin ye shalan ke ni yo shuba ta la chan sa lo ngombo tu je den ba tam je ken ba tom ba sonam yon jam zo je de je la chan sa lo ta ben do ja ta le je giving us on the Treasury. Jesus told them, Jojo, why she do July Chansalo. A journey to Lamyanda, Labata, Ratu, Shinge Tamba, and Dension, Gendu Lion Chansalo.
Page 15, 1-5. I prostrate to the youthful Manjushri, to those in the worlds of the 10 directions, however many there are, all the lions among humans who appear during the 3 times. To all of them without exception, I pay homage with respectful body, speech, and mind. The force of my aspiration prayer for excellent conduct brings all the victorious ones directly to mind. Bowing down with bodies as numerous as atoms in the realms, I prostrate to all the victorious ones. In a single atom there are Buddhas as numerous as atoms, each residing in the midst of their sons and daughters. Like that, I imagine the whole Dharmadhatu completely filled with victorious ones. To those with oceans of inexhaustible praiseworthy qualities, with sounds containing oceans of tones of melodic speech, I express the qualities of all the victorious ones. I praise all the Sagatas. With the finest flowers, the finest garlands, music, ointment, supreme parasols, supreme lamps, and the finest incense, I make offerings to the victorious ones. With the finest cloths, supreme scents, and fine powders equal to Mount Meru, all displayed in supreme and magnificent ways, I make offerings to those victorious ones. With vast and unsurpassable offerings, I venerate all the victorious ones. Through the power of faith and excellent conduct, I prostrate and offer to the victorious ones. Whatever negative actions I have performed with body, speech, and also mind, overpowered by desire, aggression, and stupidity, I confess each and every one of them. I rejoice in everyone's merit, the victorious ones of the 10 directions, the Bodhisattvas, the Pratyeka Buddhas, those in training, those beyond training, and all beings. I request the protectors, the lamps of the worlds of the 10 directions, who passing through the stages of awakening, attain Buddhahood beyond attachment, to turn the unsurpassable Dharma wheel. I supplicate with my palms joined together those who intend to demonstrate nirvana, to remain for kalpas as numerous as atoms in the realms, for the welfare and happiness of all beings. I dedicate whatever slight virtue is accumulated through prostrating, offering, confessing, rejoicing, requesting, and supplicating to enlightenment. Back to 14.
Om Baba Jambara Jono Jubala Chansalo Shinye Sudai Choju Jitana Tuzon Shiba Meye Senge Kun Dagi Malu Dada Tamjila Ludam Agi Damwe Chagi O Zambo Jube Monan Dodagi Jawa Tamje Yige Monsunda Shenge Dunye Lura Dubaye Jawa Guna Radu Changsalo Doje Gana Dunye Sanje Nam Sanje Sege Huna Jubada Teda Juge Yena Maluba Tamje Gyawa Dagi Kamwarmo Teda Ngapa Meze Gyanzo Na Yangi Yena Gyanzo Dragunji Gyawa Gungi Yoden Raju Chin Dewa Shekpa Tamche Dagito Meto Damba Trengwa Damba Dan Sinye Namdan Chupa Duncho Dan Marme Chodan Dubu Damba Ye Jawa Dega Lami Chupaji Nasa Damba Namdan Trichodan Chime Burma Rirav Nyambadan Ube Jibar Babe Jokunji Jawa Deda Layan Chubaji Chuba Ganam Lame Gyachewa Deda Gyawa Tamche Layamu Zambo Chula Tebe Todagi Gyawa Guna Chansa Chubaji Dusha Jedan Demo Wangine Ludan Adan Dejin Yigi Chang Deba Dagi Jiba Shinji Ba Deda Tamje Dagi Soso Shak Shushu Jawa Gundan Samje Se Rangya Namdan Lodan Melodan Drowa Gunji Soman Kanga Yan Deda Gunji Jesu Dayiran Kanan Joju Jikten Drumada Shanju Rinpa Sanje Machani Gombo Deda Dagi Tamje Lan Kolo Nana Meba Korwaku Nyanyen Datan Gangje Deda Lan Drowa Kunla Denshin Deweche Kawa Shingi Dunye Chubayan Dagi Tamora Jar Soarji Chaksa Wadan Chuchin Shapadan Jesu Yiram Kurshin Soaye Gyawa Shunze Dagi Chisapa Tamje Dobe Shamchu Jemo.
Page 16. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma, of the two vehicles and their combination, according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings. Semchen Namki Sampadang Loi che dra chi tar wa che chun tun mong te ba yi chu ki kor lo kor du so.
Okay, this is our second day. Thank you for spending with us. Even July 4th, you kind of sacrifice your fun day to do practice, study, contemplation, and meditation. That all matters. And today is our second day. I hope you have some great firework night last night, and that makes your wisdom kind of somehow sharpened and awakened or some way. And first, maybe I chant my lineage prayer, and then we can go through our chapter 11 today. O du som song je tam je jing o re dang jing ko jam so chap da ka rin sung me du je dang yin kam sun chu je jar bo chap je be mo chen ma me ba go ra du du de go sum ke ba chen bo go ne chan sar sing jap sun che wo je ba ne se rab jin chen wa tam je do do ze wa chen bo go ne je so song de ju xin je la Zato so gom ge jar song da yu meng ang ke san zhen ben dong zha xian zhen be se wo sen zhe zar wen zhe kun me ge de se xiu ru tu jin da ma gu ni ju ren jing de zam jing kong tu gong ben ma gar po te ren da lu yin so ru zhong ur jian so ling ben me dong bu ze jar be nam zhao rong zhong tun jie chen zo be yi yue den song bar Ben man jung ne da lu ben zo re jiong xin ni den gen xin xin si ben qian zi jing ko ra gong xin zhuo gen zhen wo men pa sen ze lo zhu gen de nian de ge dang yi xi zhi ba me gong jun ka lan zi ba gam jian ba re xiu ne gen ne ga wei zo ge yin ju yin zhuo ben ma ge wen zhen bei xie re le song wo zi re dong ge zha wa ning ge ma se lo zhong jiao zo Jing a ge ban mu da ye zhong, gun song dur sim ga ra xie re zing, pe ma ga ra jin bong yi zhong. So sor nom nya der dong jia zas, ga tri la ma nam la zor wan de, gang re do ga ren jin ying bong go, yo den gun jiong ga we ji za ra to. Ning bu tang se pe ben nan jue ba, chen me we zi re xiab ji da ye zhong, xi ya gun sen zhou la ji zi, chen me we zi re yong zhou de ten zhu, wo sa long chen nam ki nan jue ba. Jing me ling be xiab la so wa, de, xie zir jar we zi bo xie wa la, nong dar chu ben wang chu xia wa re, song an pang qiu deng a rong zhu. Jing mi chu ji wang bro ge jan za re dong jan bar xian ne xin la le gong be long le bo be der ji long to chun zi jan zu nga dan cho me pam yang yang nam ja la ge jan za yo den song ji gun dong nyam na yang ga din song ji gun le lak bing za we la ma ta la so wan de da son ro we lo na chu la jo da son ro we lo na chu la tene da son so wan de se thang a so na je thong che dar nang dar sang wa dar se chang sar wa ta la ram jing ta se na 다 된대그 거네 소반답서 몸보요 그래 고바당 김생 가르서나 아주 진삽선 딱 말람데 다 인치게라 주리아트 데스 갈레서 이나 보케나 진랍스 진랍톱고 그래서 하나 진랍톱을 제발라 대박고 그랬어 대바다 이치 모금해 봐이나 진랍사에서 타고 말했어. 진랍거나 대박거래서. 다 다 대바치에서 때 전에 자와던 주백 라마가서 단데나 이네 인지겔 엘레네치선도 또 주바트 자침보 임바테 시샤네 아니 치롱솔라 주백 라마탄데 소반데사 유지르테 요나 진삽 고고요나 네 텔 소반데비아트 키체모레 대인도 맞아 누군 그 루솔라 라마 거기 강르라 모그지 녀마 마샤나 친합지 추주만 정배 샘 모근들 내던조스 모그메나 친합 중어 말해서 대인도 다 라마도 거기 강르다네 다우샤네 친합기 녀마 모그지 녀마다 마샤나 친합기 추준데 다 친합서야도 맞아 인지기에 나라 간다지 간다지를 거고 요메다 칼을 세고 요메다 그냥 맞아 뭐 도돌체나 마도 다 찍도 데레스는 게 라바잠지 되네 단다 인지기에 돌아 간다 jorgo 요메다 저런 게 가르 jorgo 요메 하고 오면도 진삽
Yeah, 파치 waves of blessing. Yeah. So then so Khenpo just did a prayer, lineage prayer, and when we do a prayer, the technical word in Tibetan is sowadep or sowa. So this is not just like a prayer, but it is like kind of almost a request too, like praying with kind of the connotation of it being like a request as well. And so there are, when we do prayers, when we do prostrations, for example, there are outer prostrations, the outer way we prostrate, the inner way we prostrate, the secret way we prostrate. There's, the highest way of prostrating with the view, the medium way of prostrating, the lesser ways of prostrating and praying and so forth. So when we do prostrations and prayers, the reason behind it and the purpose is said to be so that we can receive what is normally translated or commonly translated as blessings. So in Tibetan, there is this phrase, chinji la. So it literally kind of means like the waves of what is being given. So maybe we could understand it is not just like, just blessings, but like the waves of blessings offered by the gurus and the Buddhas, perhaps. It has kind of a subtle meaning in Tibetan that's more than just blessings. So it's like the waves of the offered, kind of blessings. And so the way that we receive these waves of blessings is through having faith and having devotion. And if we don't really have like true, sincere inner faith and devotion, if we pray without faith and devotion, just go through the words, we're not going to really receive the deeper blessings. And so when we cultivate faith and we pray to our root teachers, our root gurus, and the lineage gurus, this is a really important thing in this tradition, is having this lineage, this unbroken lineage that flows down to our own current teachers. And so when we pray in this way, then we can, this opens up that gateway so that we can receive these waves of offered blessings. And so translating this term chinjilap is a little interesting. Maybe Khenpo has some ideas too, but.
Yeah, people sometimes doesn't like. I don't mind whatever you want to interpret this term. at least there's maybe we can think about, we want things that intangible, maybe it's not even visible, but it's something that mysteriously work for us, whether our practice or our understanding or our health or our relationships or anything that I'm not saying will fix. Fix is another thing, because any relationship or things are temporary. So it's today fix in this way, maybe tomorrow needs to fix that way, and then English sometimes say, in order to maintain an old style, we need to change everything. So it's not. I don't think what our wish doesn't necessarily lead what we need and what a stable situation. However, I think there is a sort of long run maybe benefit from something that's a force or something that comes out of not only my ability, but there is something help coming from outside. That's why we are doing practice and so forth. These are not fixed to a given that we need to follow, but whatever necessary in that state of practice, that state of life, that state of situation. So that describe blessing as that in a Tibet. But sometimes in West, when we say bless, it's very loaded with the Christian kind of theologian. We have this blessing, but whatever we I think sometimes religious kind of phenomena doesn't really interfere or negate each other, but we could use. But I'm saying what blessing means in a Tibetan tradition. It's a necessary thing, not necessarily what we want. And maybe you can.
Jason.
Yeah.
So, and then one more thing that Khenpo mentioned was in Jigten Sungun's Song of Fivefold Realization, it is taught, if the cloud masses of thoughts have not subsided within the spacious sky of the nature of mind, planets and stars of twofold knowledge will not shine. So persevere in this.
Not that one. No, the mountain.
Oh, sorry, Gonda. So that one is persevere in this non-conceptual mind. Wrong verse. Excuse me. If the sunlight of devotion has not dawned upon the Guru's 4 Kaya snow mountain, the flowing river of blessings will not come. So persevere in this mind of devotion. So if we don't have devotion, then the flowing river of blessings will not come. So devotion is this the mechanism by which we unlock the blessings that the root and the lineage gurus have to bestow upon us.
Stream of blessing. Lama Juba's wrong Juba Konal younger. Chinlap wrong Juba.
Rangi Jupala.
Blessings only come through lineage.
Mm-hmm.
and you can see how important it is. And then you can read what you read, that one. It's related, yeah.
So this flowing river.
No,
Uh-huh.
the stars and planets.
So then the next verse is again, if the cloud masses of thoughts have not subsided within the spacious sky of the nature of mind, planets and stars of twofold knowledge will not shine, so persevere in this non-conceptual mind.
Tene chinlap sayaje nyam sayaje tokba sayaje rong jula. Yeah, resta nyam sena rong sorwa nyam si nyong togar. Ne tokba sena jula jena tene anjura maybe tasal lebugero tindu chinlap la tene nyam do tokba te shargores.
So we have three things we can talk about. There are blessings, waves of blessings, experiences, or we can just say experience, and then the third is realization. And so experiences or experience is something we gain through practice. The word in Tibetan for practice literally means to get experience, to gain experience, to receive experience. So through our own efforts, we can have experience, we develop experience. And then realization, in Tibetan it is tokpa, this is reaching an unchanging kind of state of realization, accomplishment. And so through relying on the blessings of the root and lineage gurus, then this allows us to gain experience and realization.
정말 냠당 똑바째야라 되는가서 코와틀레 코와스나 understanding 로 된다 다 먹어 보이나 냠도 똑바 젠 제지 말을 젠나요 되는 냠도 똑바테 모니 인더맨 대하 코토고 말아 대인도 코와틀레비아트 케이천버 대인도 that booking oma lavaina ko nyong tok soms kowa nyong tok bata kowa te lobjong che pechata ne tende china hakotagura te indi musu nyam nyong ta uchago marina ko hako tambo hako gores.
So first, it should be mentioned too, in order to give rise to experience and realization, then we also need what is said to be an understanding. And so without an understanding of what we are practicing, then we're not going to know how to gain experience and realization. And so an understanding of the Dharma is extremely important. So we can also look at these as there being three things in terms of understanding, experience, and realization. First, we must gain an understanding through study and like reading the teachings and kind of learning and studying. And then once we have studied the text and the teachings and have some understanding, then we can put it into practice and gain experience and realization.
인도 다 진삽거나 대박고 그랬어. 시럽 고고요나 존중 고그래 생도와. 존중면은 시럽 랩토고 말이야. 시럽 영어로 시발라 롭종치 존중 마제 되는 디콜로 삼마땅 베쳤다. 롭종치 되는 마제나 시랍도 영어 말에 존중치고 그래. 존중 인지민이고 그래서.
So it is said if we want the waves of blessing, then we need to have faith. Then if we want Sherab, prajna, which can be translated as wisdom or knowledge, then we need to have diligence. If we don't have diligence and perseverance and make effort, then we're not going to accumulate knowledge and wisdom. And so in order to really gain knowledge of the teachings and so forth, then we need to, contemplate the teachings, study, read the teachings, and train. And with diligence, then we can gain knowledge.
Tene ba nyamnyo to toba jewa shevala gomma jan tene yongyo mare te indu teba tang Yeshi yobe tola zonrun yoba jeke tene ha ko ne gom jaba ina tene ta nyamnyo tang ne toba te rongju le je to gore te indu so tsoma ke chembore te indu tanda kyuni ji nangka yongbala zhemni ji jingso ma teng cheni ji sakar ma chage zong da dina zong xia ju tela tenba ina tene nga zo ta tokya ngoma te kyuni ji nangka yongba te toko gorwa te tokwa xebala zheba nyi te tago gores zheba nyi te tago tabla ta nga zo kyuji pungpo ji zhi xedonsi Sini zong xiaowara te yin nga zo noma takwande jamro simchi ne song de tene tsoksa yan la dunba la soban dongya soma te ne te chagayora te yin yinji meni te so soma tsoksa chi di yin samnen donya te kechi mores.
ane the semni ki namka chogi
Tokwa ke yarwa.
ane kyamdro tang so
Nga tsunde kyujun dangayora.
yeah so
Tsoman di nanglo yarwa. Tsoni ma zo na zheba nyi ta tokwa nga re se gorwa. Ta tso zog yak che do nga zo de ndoma dangyo yarwa.
So, what we need also, in addition to having faith, which allows us, to, receive blessings by which we can gain experience and realization, we also need to meditate. And so, starting with faith, then utilizing our own diligence to really study and gain a strong understanding of the teachings, so that we have knowledge of how to practice, then we need to put it into practice through actually applying ourselves and meditating. If in that way we actually meditate, then we can really give rise to true experience and realization. And so here, again, it says, if the cloud masses of thoughts have not subsided within the spacious sky of the nature of the mind, the planets and stars of twofold knowledge will not shine. So persevere in this non-conceptual mind. And so in order for the qualities of the nature of the mind to really be revealed, we need to purify our obscurations. And so, for this reason, it's very important that we do things to accumulate the two accumulations of merit and wisdom. And so, when we do the opening prayers with refuge and so forth every day, this is essential to gain these two accumulations, so that we have the merit to really accomplish the Dharma.
다 임비 좀 생라 때네 맞죠 진랍사야지 톱고 무릎사야지 톱고 냠사야지 당 똑바사야지 찌고 다 대다 마중베이나 드는 맞죠 냠렌체대야도서 드는 거네 된다요베 털레고요 말에 인도 다 희라고 총소 진랍 무릎 냠 똑바스
So, when it comes to practice, we need to really apply ourselves in practice so we accomplish things. So, we should really develop faith so that we really truly do receive blessings. And we should accomplish practice so that we gain cities, accomplishment. We should practice not just without, really accomplishing anything. If we're just practicing without, really accomplishing anything, that's, not really doing it right. We should really strive to gain accomplishment, cities. We should be practicing so that we develop true experience, and thus, eventually, we can gain realization. And so when we practice, we should be seeking these 4 things: blessings, accomplishments, experience, and realization.
And then we have, of course, those are our cozy, what we want, seems very predictable sequence, and it smoothly goes with our life and practice. But then we have this other side, it's called parchi. In the Tibetan, parchi means suddenly interrupt or suddenly cut off or suddenly. Death is one of them, a good thing, and sickness is another. And then rest of is a minor category that people would have temporarily stomach upset, headache, getting hairs are whiter, wrinkling face, and teeth are yellowing, and those those are good things what we have. But if you don't like these things, this called parchi in Tibetan.
So barche is commonly translated as obstacles, things that get in the way suddenly.
So unpredictable, yeah? So nothing is unpredictable, even practice, even your blessing comes maybe with a lightning to kill you and right there. Or city is so heavy that can break down because the vessel is maybe not that strong enough.
The city?
And city,
Mudra?
mudra, accomplishment. Is that good? Good term?
So heavy?
I translate goodies. It's goodies too, loads too heavy, it breaks down you. Yeah. And what they say in the English, you should not bite. Yeah, exactly. So don't wish too high that the city is maybe you cannot handle. And the cities, including there's many cities that in the old days people like to fly, or people like to cure things, and blessings like we have here, water turned into wine, or this kind of things. So whatever you think, the languages may be totally not translatable, but you can think about. And then we have experience that people, once you practice in advance, your experience will intensify, and many people you think try to kill you. That's many of my advanced friends who went to 20, 30 years retreat, they hear things and they see things and they jump over a cliff, but his rope was hanging on a tree. If not, he died. But so that's kind of we have our sort of experience. Until realization is stable, if everything is could be overwhelm you, and also obstacles will take advantage at that gap wherever it is. So that's why in the Tibetan tradition, I can hear that we practice Lama Yidam Kando. If you Lama Yidam Kando ki drobat inje mini chango yores, not so nyamna chibikaps.
So when it comes to practice in the Tibetan tradition of secret mantra, we practice the guru, the Yidam deity, and the Dakini practices. These are all necessary, all of these.
Chinlap yomar chevala lamig drobat kogore. And the mood of yomar chevala yidam ki drobat yidam ki nyamlant chegogore. Parchi seriaki chetula, then kando ki nyamlant chegogore. In the lama yidam kando saya the tigaza countendenci shawma tel tonda mamboyores.
So when we practice the guru, then when we accomplish the guru, then we can receive the blessings. When we practice the Yidam deity, then we can gain the accomplishments, these cities. And when we do the Dakini practices, then this clears away obstacles. And so these three practices, the Guru, the Yidam, and the Dakini, it's not just, some random kind of combination of things to practice. There is a meaning behind this, and there are even, kind of more elaborate explanations too.
Maybe that's more than what we have enough today. So either way, when we chant, say in our chanting what we did this morning, and also we necessarily need to realize our mind nature. And on page 11, we have this Namo Nangsi Namda. That's what often we chant. And you can see the middle line is separated from these two, kind of emphasizing here in English. Please bless me. Now we know. Bless me from our lineage and our guru and our Lama practice, guru practice. And that may I realize the Dharmakaya, the blessing is more help me to realize the Dharmakaya. That is beyond intellect. And this primordially unborn, complete, pure mind is going back to our mind. We discussed a little bit last time with here, Virginia. I was thinking there was a little bit the Tibetan wording is a little bit slightly we can adjust, but now I don't know where.
Page 8.
Yeah, the first sem du ne jemi namdan di londi chu ko tokpara. It's almost here. Yesterday we talked about sometimes our mind is Dharma and the Dharmakaya. Which one is more important? The ordinary Tibetan Joe or American Joe, our guru, is important, or Buddha Vajradhara is more important? So here seems this translation, please bless me that may I realize Dharmakaya. It's a sort of distant reality. But here in the Tibetan is more close to Sem Duni Jeme Namdangde. This mind which is primordially, utterly pure, without born or unborn, which may I realize or bless me to realize this mind as Dharmakaya. So it's important sometimes. I realize Dharmakaya. What point? I need to realize my mind as Dharmakaya. Yeah.
So Khenpo here is referring to this line, these last two lines in the Tibetan. It is Sem Dune Keme Namdakti Lo De Chuku Tokpar Jinji Lo. So you can maybe see that on page 9 at the end of the first section of words. So here, the key thing is that in this other English translation, it says, bless me that I may realize the Dharmakaya that is beyond intellect, this primordially unborn, completely pure mind. Another way of reading this that Khenpo wants to emphasize is this completely pure,
primordially, Duni.
This primordially unborn mind. This, this completely pure. Bless me so that I realize that, Dharmakaya, the body of reality beyond concepts, of this, completely pure. So we are seeking to realize our own inherent minds, not this Dharmakaya that is outside of us, but it is the Dharmakaya, the ultimate body of reality within us.
Maybe a little bit different. The Tibetan Chukur.
Chukur,
As Dharmakaya. So yesterday we talked about what Milarepa say. Lama tarang sem songji som jik stok pinanjola. Yeah. So bless me to realize this utterly pure, primordially unborn, my mind, as a Dharmakaya without intellect. As this is important.
So Khenpo brought up again yesterday, he mentioned this teaching by Milarepa, who said, I am the yogi who realizes the inseparability of the guru my own mind, and the Buddha, these three. And so here, this request for blessing, bless me to realize, to gain realization of this completely pure, primordially unborn mind, to realize this unborn, primordially pure mind as the Dharmakaya, beyond concepts. So realize this mind as the Dharmakaya. So we're seeking blessings to realize our own mind as the Dharmakaya.
Can you tell? Not Dharmakaya, realize Dharmakaya as our unborn mind. Our unborn mind realize as Dharmakaya. Seems nobody really. Okay, then we meditate on reading this line to meditate, or maybe can this translation. I think you need to update a bit.
Not check you.
What?
Not check you.
Chưa time be.
The Dharmakirti Shalom Namo. Yeah, now you.
Oh,
Yeah.
can you read? Because the very first line also, I offer the fundamental ground. Fundamental ground cannot offer. It's natural. It's opposite way. It's appearances and existence of could be work better because it's something manifestation things we could make offer. Anything could offer, but not Dharmakaya. So it's life is upside down. So yeah. How about Londi Chukur this Semduni Jimmy Namdat Londi Chukur Tokur Shinjilo? Please bless me that you can reverse, yeah. This primordially unborn, completely pure mind as Dharmakaya, that's beyond intellect, or even you can just put this last sort of a phrase after dash, right after the I may realize. Should we chant together? When you ever do a meditation, you should have some phrase or some lines related to the meditation to chant. And it's better to have something to relate to the Guru, something to relate to the lineage, something related to the nature, and something related to. So Namo Nansi Namda is perfect thing, but I think maybe Eric may have his own translation in the future, so we can look at that.
Yeah, maybe we should just read. We can read this one.
Okay.
So, let's just read on
Yeah.
page 11.
No, just this line.
Oh, okay. This.
Yeah, then we can meditate on the middle line. But switch the after dash, put after realize. And then add us, Dharmakaya, the Dharmakaya. Okay. Who's
Wait. So,
yeah.
please bless me
Mm-hmm.
so that I.
So that this primordially unborn. Please bless me that.
Please bless me that I may realize this primordially unborn, completely pure mind as the Dharmakaya, that beyond intellect. As Dharmakaya.
Okay. So here we go.
Yeah.
Please bless me that I may realize this primordially unborn, completely pure mind as the Dharmakaya that is beyond intellect.
So this means my, if you want to use my mind, that's fine. But this means I'm using, I feel, I can use, I can get angry, I can get sad, I can get, or whatever you feel through this mind, yeah. It's not distant Dharmakaya. That is the main goal of whole practice, so it's important to have some. Open your mouth. This meditation, you only need to remember two things. Look at your back side of your head. Open your mouth. Soon as your thought rise, you should look back. I'm sure we are good planners, but this is not good time to planning anything or concerning or anything judgment you want to make. If you are a good artist or designer or something, something appear to you, but just ignore it. Pukila debiche machisro, maompa ngu masus, tati tokpala so minchuba san, sopchu machi batila, tik gogar, tingaso shorno goro. Tende in the region komjaga the kitchen boreta, wrong semte, chuji koi, tawr topper shibala, chuji koi imba topper shibatala. tricky lava made the tricky tendency thing. I think that's a pechala. That goes.
So when meditating, then we do not, recollect, thoughts of the past. We do not, invite, thoughts about the future. And in the present, we don't, conceptualize what's happening in the present. And so this is the instruction of, meditating on one's own mind as the Dharmakaya, the ultimate body of reality. And so this is the teaching of cutting through Trekshu, Dzogchen Trekshu, and there is nothing higher than this. And so now let's get back to the text.
Maybe this afternoon we could bring, when I was in Chicago, Renashui Center was teaching Drikung Yangzap, and we chant with these 7 short texts that Guru Rinpoche's prayer, and one of them has this precise how we look at things, external things, internal things, and how forms and sounds and so forth. Maybe we can try to find out that this afternoon, but now maybe we can spend time. On the text, do you have any further discussion or questions that we can go through?
Just a quick clarification. For the instruction to look at the back of our head, do we look through our head towards the back, or do we look from the back forward? Does that make sense?
Can you tell me what's the difference between?
Well, one of them I'm looking through my head to get to the back to where my, kind of going through my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one I'm trying to look from the back. When I do, it changes my spatial awareness. One draws me inward, and that way when I look at the back from the outside, it brings my face, it almost opens, as where one draws in, the other one opens.
Yeah.
So,
I think.
does it matter?
No, it matters.
Okay.
It's soon as we are thinking, we are looking through, seeing our back means concept. Mm-hmm. So that's why it narrows down our visual apparatus. Mm-hmm. If you just look, just your eyeballs that looking inwardly, then we don't need to further kind of justifying or verifying anything. That's kind of opens visual kind of domain. It's larger, yes. That's why sometimes we practice look outwardly, inwardly, outwardly, inwardly. So we could do that. I did that. Maybe that's also helpful, because what outwardly looking would be, what inwardly looking would be. But not looking through to seeing anything. That's not purpose. Once you redirect or naturally kind of looking inwardly, what we say, looking at your back, then it automatically kind of becomes sort of nature. It's naturally you are focusing, your mind is looking at the mind. That's only way we can look at the mind. There's no other way to looking at the mind. While we are looking at the mind, there's no two minds, because then would be subject to object, yeah. But while we are looking at our Rigpa, is dissolved so there's no subject-object duality. And good news is that we would not have any experience. Experience is another interesting thing that we cannot repeat, even we want to, or we cannot stop even we want to, and which means it's out of our control, and it's informal, and it's not reliable, it's not true, it's not reality. So this realization is we can repeat 1,000, million, billion times. So that's why these practices is natural, is reality, and is also repeatable.
So just to make sure I got it correctly, I guess what Brian was saying is if I look inwards, pretending, because I'm not really looking, I'm just focusing my attention inwards, trying to point a point on the back, versus becoming someone else that is looking at my back. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to be pretending to be looking at our own back from the outward. No, we want to look through inwards, right?
Yeah, this is only talking about our eyeballs. If we, of course, we are automatically looking outwardly now, to seeing things, yeah? And just sit, look outwardly, and then inwardly, try.
And the sight, I mean, do I have to place them here, here, here?
No, yesterday we discussed this a little bit. As soon as you're sitting, it's not necessarily do 7 posture of Vajrasana. That is often introduced. Yinan di kapsu rangwap chini. That's all the tanda ngaso japki. Kebat changbo ko garis. Tene tatu part takayo marwa. Chor takayo. Te indu rangwap chini. Sortawa mato martaya the yartaya the partaya te yomarwa. Te maybe sortaya indu. Then ramwap chinta res. Te do sorte ba ina ramwap chanto.
So here, it's really, it's really subtle. So when we meditate, traditionally in some meditation teachings, they talk about the elaborate, 7-point posture of Vairochana and stuff with like legs and, lotus position and all that kind of thing. Here, we are talking about, just resting naturally. And so the most important thing is that when we go to sit down, our backs are straight as much as our spine is straight as much as possible and is comfortable. And then hands, naturally relaxed on the knees and so forth. And so when we are looking, our gaze is not looking outward at things. We're not looking up at things. We're not looking down at things. What our gaze is looking back into the nature of our own mind. And when we look back into the nature of our own mind, we go beyond concepts. The mind looking at the mind transcends concepts. So it's not about like checking out our haircut on the back of our head or like some video game where we see ourselves, from behind ourselves. We're actually looking with our own mind at our own mind. So we cancel out, duality, concepts, and in that state, we rest naturally.
We are not looking for anything. So that's why maybe around or behind or anything. It's just, now it's directing that we just need to direct our eyeballs inwardly.
And the tongue? And the tongue, is it loose resting or does it have to be on the top?
Yes, these 7 postures are not applied here, except the back, yeah. So other things should be, everything's nature. I constantly need to remind people that open their mouths. They're not relaxed, so that's why. And then as soon as you open mouth means you are more relaxed, yeah? You can see angry people has much more tightened lips than usually, but that's not our subject. So, but we can try, not just talking about the particular trick you practice, but can you tell difference between looking inwardly and outwardly? Okay. Sit. Don't drink. Drinking, eating, anything that interferes this meditation. And I'm just kidding. Sorry. Okay. We do looking outwardly, inwardly. It's not the actual meditation. We just try to practice how to look inwardly and outwardly. Open your mouth again. Look outwardly. Look inwardly. Look outwardly. Look inwardly. Look outwardly. Look inwardly. Usually, as soon as look inwardly, you can feel your body is release all sort of stress or whatever, the tightness in the body and so forth. So that's a good thing, what we can do, and that's just access for all of us. Maybe all other animals or not, we can, when they talk, we can ask, but so far they don't want to talk, so it's a little bit difficult to ask. Other than that, that is a good thing. If you think that is important, so this is a great method, I think. And now we are in chapter 11. We did all our hard work, which is establishing view to understanding. The study takes a long time. That's why we talk about, or the text talk about diligence, and one of 6 paramitas, and that is very important one. And now we have fully gained understanding and realization of our my nature or emptiness. Tongba ni tang rang simni te ta ye duman sangji yimba ta te ha koba tang te tokwe to ne tene gom nyamle chigo ta gom nyamle chibi kapso tanda huba na yire ka chor lo ne rang sem lo chor ta ko bare David Caps, Tenny Janta, two some Janam Totan, say my Jopachico, then do two some Janam Tosan and Debala, Joba, Maombala, Musova, Tadala, Tenny Sochuchevala, Sopata, Tendrig, Tobatan, Mayubicone, Tenny Rangasam Lator, Tane, Com Jabayina, Tenny Com Jamne. Munin Rogore, Tindu, Tangasot Le Tangbo Bandawina, Yurumbo, Jik Toba, Gom Shama Sagamare Gom Metol and Natovia Kalekabar Tindu, Yanchor Gumiat, Kachambores, Kazongazo, looking again and again slaps on the Konon. Pecha Konon, the song, what in the chat, Kachambores. Gombat son Simbareta, Gomba son Sine, then Juba Sayatala Leveres.
So, in this way, we meditate on the primordial, our own mind, inseparable with emptiness, not, dual from emptiness. And when we meditate and gain experience in this way, we look directly, abide directly within our own mind without conceptualizing thoughts about the three times, the different circumstances of the three times. We don't, remember thoughts about things in the past, We don't, plan and, welcome thoughts about the future. And in the present, we don't conceptualize or contrive or fabricate anything. And so in this, then we look directly back into the mind, with the mind. And so when we see the mind, with the mind itself, we abide in this non-dual meditation. And that's meditation. And so for beginners, as we begin in this way, it's difficult to really abide without concepts directly in that state. And so we need to train again and again. This is really important to again and again familiarize ourselves with that nature of the mind, so that we habituate, we become familiar with that meditation. So that is how we meditate, and what the teaching in the text has covered up to now. And then now in the text we've gotten to what is called the conduct, how we carry ourselves, the activity.
Tene Hetar Tawi Tak Jeba Tishin Gom Ton Jubi Janser. Hetar Tawi Tak Jeba
Jitar?
Cheddar.
Uh-huh.
Tawi Tak Jeba Tak Juba.
Uh-huh. Takshu.
Tishin Gom Tang Jubi Jong. Maintain or nourish, right? So,
Kyong. Uh-huh.
내 담을 묻지 때 정도.
So then, Mipam Rinpoche taught, just as we reach a definitive kind of certainty about the view, the ultimate view of how things ultimately are, in the same way, we should sustain meditation and our conduct.
Tindu Dorna Tawigi Kone Ha Kone Turn Topate Gumbi Nyamlenji Kone Yane Yanto, but then Kumri Macha sambo ma cha je pardo kumri cha ya la tene komba la cha ne tene topa long to chur senda ma cha je pardo komne ta ti ki tro ta go tele tene juba sa ya te ti roba chi tro che go re son tene juba sa ya te tanda ti ka juba ta ya te zok chen juba te tengaro wa.
So then, in this way, in short, we should understand the view. And then once we understand the view, we apply this in meditation again and again so that we become familiar with that state. And through this becoming familiar, the more we habituate, recognizing and abiding within that, state of meditation of the view, then we give rise to the experience of, or the kind of beneficial state of realization, the wonderful thing of realization. And so, in addition to this meditation, something that can really help us is to furthermore utilize the proper conduct. And so in this particular context, we are talking about the Dzogchen, the conduct of the great perfection.
Okay, on the page, where is page?
105.
105, okay.
Gyatangma.
Okay. It's similar, same way maybe. We can read Tibetan first. I think maybe you don't have Tibetan phonetic, but it's okay. Online we have. Tam jing ka nyam shang chup sim je la ni so sung we jun zhi si ba an cho chur nong de mi ju mi nong an la tuk chi ji mi zi dao char we jiong men du to de fa la tur yi sen cho dong me ka cha dong cho dong we se Jovin jong na sa dong a san che dong je vin je la so ba de zar dong ro ba za li ro ba shar du mo song la me bon me jong me ro yin me ta me gang rong a chang je de me sam cho de char war lun je sho Jimmy Rong Yan Kalong Yang Wei Sen San Tang Ara Tong Jiban Kong Ne Xia Yimi Me Be Rikwa Chong Yin Ji Ndirzi Me Be Nong A Tuk Ti Ji Ndirzo Me Be Ngong Te Rang Xia Wei Ndiro Me Be Gao Ru Jimmy Ya Ziyan Me Be Nyam Nyong Kong Do Ro Jiong Te Xin Okay, we can read until page 107, the first paragraph we need to go through.
So then, page 105. Within the oneness of everything as awakened mind, equal to space, dualistic perception draws you into confusion, conditioned existence, and causality. Since sensory appearances based on confusion are illusory and have no true support, when you encounter them directly, maintain the experience of their leaving no trace, free of affiliation. When something unwanted falls into your lap, you have a negative reaction, such as anger, dislike, envy, upset, irritation, anxiety, depression, mental anguish, or fear of death and rebirth. When such reactions arise as a display due to dynamic energy, identify them as such Do not renounce them, indulge in them, refine them away, transform them, look at them, or meditate on them. Rather, rest spontaneously in the single, naturally settled state of evenness, free of the proliferation and resolution of conceptual frameworks. Mind as a pure expanse of space in which things vanish naturally and leave no trace, arises with intensity from within, pristinely lucid. Within unconstrained awareness, which neither is nor is not, sensory appearances are not fixated on as anything, but rather are encountered directly. This brings about natural rest in the state that cannot be reified as anything, and suppression and indulgence, which are not anything that can be freed in some way, fade without leaving a trace. An experience without fixation wells up from within. This itself, just as it is the timelessly spacious expanse of enlightened intent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know that conduct's very important, and especially we train that we learn that we need to act accordingly, whatever culture norm, and whatever requirements. Sometimes government tell us, sometimes religious authorities tell us, sometimes peers tell us. So whatever we always think we can train in a certain way, and we can act in a certain way, and we can follow that rule. Especially militaries, we have good rule to taming people. Yeah. And here it's a little bit loose. I'm not saying it's because the rules are man-made, and it is even samsara itself is a sort of a man-made thing. So it's everything has their own rules, and if we follow them, we need to play that role, or sort of thing that what we believe. But here it's saying everything is like illusion and baseless. English, I'm speaking English. So, churnang temi jimi nawa, yeah. Churbi nawa yimba tang, ten me ba no jimi nawa tawar yimba la ten tene tila sochu ma yiba shagna le lawaris. Jujur shiva yina tene yang to jugo ba chagaris.
So here, appearances of delusion, confusion that we normally experience in cyclic existence, they have no basis, and they appear without any support, like an illusion. And so if we can abide in that and act from recognizing things in that way, then it's easy. Then the conduct we can naturally practice from that state. However, once we start fabricating ideas about what things are, that's when things get complicated and difficult.
Tene tanga zola zo metse nang karyong gores mendu ba mambo chong gores mendu thought about last mendu ba the thought about sana tangi party sa chong so chu chibe ka so party sa gores te mendu ba the tol hyungne ta te par turya ki che te par pangya ki che le tani nga so samnot levgars te levi gaps kande no samno levgars na choba sena nga jartan megawa traktok tani chukba dang ta zigba sawa sena hiadong loya te mayin ba jowa je ya tani injong te mayin bege rangla nacha dang dungar te hin de chiwa dang jewa dikwa la so ban dona tanga so meche nang la kang yong go ba de nga su to la yong si ba jires yong yo res yina tada tham che de ngo sing go ya de karisana charle rolba sharwa sana rigbi ki charle shar yoma rolba cham shima to tene rolba sana ta tene yo mari se nang de wa cham che ma to melam ke nawa nang yi ha ko so wa yina tene tenda yo res melam nawa nang yi ha ko go res
So in our human lifetimes, one of the biggest things that happens is that we encounter things that we don't want. And different types of obstacles, sudden obstacles appear where these things that we don't want occur. And so we spend time trying to get out of those situations that we don't want. And when we seek to get out of these situations where things are happening that we don't want, all kinds of afflictive emotions arise. We have hatred, anger, jealousy, there's fighting, all these kinds of things arise because we are trying to get out of what's appearing. Furthermore, too, as a human, there's sickness in our lives for ourselves and others. Other kinds of suffering, states that we experience. There's all the things related to birth, all kinds of things related to death, and these things happen in our human realm. So these things happen. However, all of these things, we don't have to cling to them and grasp to them as being real. Ultimately, all these things that arise, these are the energy, the power of awareness displaying to us. The power of our awareness appears in all kinds of various ways. When these different obstacles in undesirable situations, if we can experience them as being the non-dual display of our awareness, then we realize that even though they appear, they do not truly exist, that they are just like a dream. And so if we can understand this, then we have power over them. They don't have power over us.
tene ta jirton jikten di nang ke labyal tene te so mayon yak chit ato Western psychology council ta ramanda chene norna te ju tang da me ba so yak tabshi che garo te hin de man tang tene le tene ta namba sanji bi hyong ge nong le na nian tu ge ta rang sanji ge ta wa dong ju ba la tene nyom mo ba to so pong ya sa pong sa ro ma pong chi tena chi se mi pong sa tin do Melans. 하고
Mipong.
메폼 메좀 메저 멜란시 메타 메금 랑 참젝트스.
Mipong, Major.
당아서 가르치 그러서나 대 방약 치들라 조바 망보치 치네. 용 추단직 땡 샤와 강이나 치거래. 초래야 당전에 종야서나 용 된대기 치도. 용나 주리야 용나 랑와 텔라타네 대다파 매용야 치 용나 곰잠네 대다 매와서야 늘나 된대기 탑시 망보치 치기 어렸어 얘나 네 값서 적ချင်း주베 값서 왕기요 말에 랭기요 말에 종기요 말에 줄기요 말에 얘는 타나 따기요 요 말이라 검기요 요 말에서
So then, in the West, in this world, we have elaborate systems of psychological therapy, and when different problems arise in our lives, then we can go see doctors, psychologists, that type of thing, therapist, if we can get an appointment. And there's all these different ways that we can work with our situation so that we can get over these difficult circumstances in our life, so that there's we can try we can attempt to get over these difficult circumstances in our life. There's medicines, different types of therapies, different types of kind of courses of action that we can engage in to overcome these difficult circumstances. In the Buddha's teachings, in the root scriptures, too, in the traditions of the hearers, the Shravakas, the solitary realizers, the Pratyeka Buddhas, also too, there are ways that we abandon circumstances that create afflictive emotions. So afflictive emotions are to be abandoned. However, here in Longchenpa's teaching, it says earlier, or it says down in the second paragraph, when such reactions arise as a display due to dynamic energy, identify them as such. Do not renounce them, indulge them, refine them away, transform them, look at them, or meditate on them. Rather, rest spontaneously in the single, naturally self-settled state of evenness, free of the proliferation and resolution of conceptual frameworks. So here, we don't need to abandon these appearances. We don't need to invite some other appearances. We don't need to protect or guard against them. We don't need to transform anything. We don't even look at them. We don't even meditate upon them. Here, we just rest in the natural nature of the mind.
Tene tanda nyentogi tigbala tene nyomo ba pawa sar. Tene changchup sembege tigbala tene nyomo ba. Tene gyurwa sagarwa. Ngaki tigbala tene nyomo ba lambada. Tene da zokwa chenpo dan tene yar tene simola da sen do gom sa da ten durna shawaji hyuk sarwaina tene chutoji chi sarwaina tene ramap chakyo maris tene indu da se de nyomo la da go marwa ngaso simola da se de ramap tal sha ne deva indu inje meni te 야보레 독자레 상보레 년바레 스타고가 말 됐다바 있나 생기 되네 남토트 형도 그러 the rest. Tanda, me pom me jom, me jol me lanxing, me tam me kum rong, cham jek, to me sam draw the travel in shows. Right?
And so, when it comes to afflictive emotions, in the traditions and the vehicles of the hearers and the solitary realizers and so forth, then afflictive emotions and circumstances that create them are abandoned. And in the traditions and vehicles of the practices of the bodhisattvas, then we transform afflictive emotions. And so then in the traditions of secret mantra, the vehicles of secret mantra, afflictive emotions are brought onto the path, are harnessed on the path. So then in the Dzogchen tradition, we have what is called the view and the meditation, and then conduct. But in this, when we work with afflictive emotions, we're not viewing the afflictive emotions. We're not looking at them thinking, oh, is that afflictive emotion of mine? Is it good? Is it bad? Should I get rid of it? We're not conceptualizing afflictive emotions. Instead, here it says, do not renounce them, indulge them, refine them away, transform them, look at them, or meditate on them. Rather, rest spontaneously in the single, naturally settled state of evenness, free of the proliferation and resolution of conceptual frameworks.
Can we do that? Few minutes? Yeah.
Stir up our afflictions first.
Okay. Do you have questions?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Just calling a name.
Don't even think there is a question. We are not making things better, yeah? If that's our purpose, then we need to do something. So our purpose is just be as natural as possible. Do you forget to open your mouth? Even some dentists say you should not close your mouth to clenching your teeth. It's not good for the teeth. Did we find that Dunjum Rinpoche's Guru Yoga or not? Nobody.
We
We haven't printed it, but we have.
Well, I think also Khenpo there might be multiple versions, and
You couldn't find?
I'll get it for lunch.
Okay. You have it?
Not with me.
Okay.
There was one version that had this specific line.
Yeah. And you should look some pictures of these early Nyingma masters, Dunjum Rinpoche or other Nyushin Khenpo. You can see how they meditate with open eye, open mouth. You can repeat from that, and Khenpo Münzer and those pictures you can see. These days, maybe people like to do other things that for fine, but sometimes better to look at practice just imitation, yeah. So we want to expose as naturally as possible. If we close eyes and then every time we see some unwanted things, want to close eyes, then it's not nature, I think. Then we means we care too much about appearances. This problem is that not appearances, it's just how we look at and how we treat it, yeah. Remember, we are not even looking at anything, even problems. Okay, we have short dedication and lunch break, and then come back with a lot of questions and a lot of curiosity that lead us. These afternoon sessions will be fruitful.
Page 24 in the prayer book. By the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Trikongpa Ratnashri, who is omniscient, Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you so much. See you soon. Fine, that's doing the
Yeah. Sala musung meba tokja rikpa riktong jempa dika dungi lama Yeshi dorje moshe sik dru Sala musung meba